Well, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it certainly is, and it is a day of Mars, and we got war, right? Seems like Saturn's having a little effect on this, doesn't it? Yeah, for those of you who have a planetary care of anything. Yeah, well, the big problem in this country is, and why there is, and always has been, so much division amongst us, right? There always has been, folks. Yeah, we've always had division. There was division with the founders, right? Go back and read the Federalist Papers. You'll see what type of division there was. There was a whole group that didn't want what they call us today or then the mob. Yeah, the majority of people. Of course, now we weren't cut in on the deal back then. If you go look at it and read up on it and read a lot of different accounts, you'll see we weren't cut in on the deal. No. Liberty was about business and the freedom to practice your business. Okay, that's fine. Today, we have so many different visions of America. Now, the vision that I like is the one in the Declaration of Independence, and of course, the first 10 amendments, the Constitution, basically. Yeah, there's some shit in the Constitution that does need to be changed or amended. However, it's the document, man. It's the deal. It's not a sacred document like some people claim the Bible is, and that's coming. My stuff on that's coming. Some people's vision of America actually is that it is a Christian nation. No, it is not. And the founders were very adamant about that. And some of them were very religious, like John Adams was very religious, for example. No. America is not this Christian nation that's doing the bidding of Israel to hasten the onset of the want of Armageddon. Well, this whole mythology is contrived, just like the Bible. And the mythologies that come out of the Bible with the different sects, okay? Yeah. So, what is your vision of America? This is something I want everybody to think of. What is your vision of this country and what this country should be, okay? Now, there's a lot of people that worship the ground that their job walks on. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't want to work, right? And I don't blame you. I'll tell you what, after 50 years of working, well, longer than that, it's more like 60 years because I got started when I was 9 years old in the family business. After all this time, I'm going to be 73 next month. After all this time of working, yeah, I understand. There's days when I don't want to get up and work, right? But I need to. I need the income. I also don't like some of the dictatorial crap that I've seen in the workplace over the years. Crap. Today, it's okay. It's not great. On a 10 scale, that place is about a 6. Well, that's about as much as you could hope for in Arizona, unless it's employee-owned business. Anyway, and where I work isn't, that's okay. It is what it is. And they're really good to their customers. Yeah, and they're so okay with the employees. They're about a 6 on a 10 scale. Like I said, they're just barely above 5. So there's that one group who thinks that this is a Christian nation and we're here to fulfill the destiny of the book of Revelation. Okay? And in that are these evangelicals that firmly believe in the rapture, which is not in the Bible. No, it's not. Something like it may have been alluded to, but it's not in the Bible, folks. No. And not to mention that the Bible is not really a historical document. It's more a mythological treatise. It is kind of this poetic view of the universe and man's place in it and his relationship to God. That's really what it is. Now, when you're an atheist, like I am, you don't believe in that God. Well, I don't really believe in any of them. I know a lot about quite a few gods. I don't believe in them, except to accomplish a magical task through modeling what they're charged with being like, their characteristics, in other words. Well, the characteristics, if I model them, will they get me a result? Okay, so that's my take on the usefulness of mythologies. And the Bible is not a very useful mythology. And it's amazing how people think it is the work. It's the work of their creator. Well, I'll tell you who their creator was. It was mom and dad. That was the creator and the creatrix. That is their creator, not some guy out there, right? Which, like, when you look back into the history, and I tell you what, I gotta give the God Anatomy book by, oh man, by her. She's great. I'll tell you her name later. At any rate, this God only exists in people's minds. It exists on paper, it exists in people's minds, and then people make it in they want it to be like, right? And so in this country, you got all these evangelicals. Now, some of them are coming around to the cause of humanity. Yeah, and what their supposed savior, who wasn't a god, if he did exist, wasn't a god, he was a man, and his vision for humanity and the philosophy of love. Yeah, that's the good part of that religion. Now, there are elements of that in Judaism too, and elements of that in Islam. I'm going to tell you this right now. The whole thing is shit, in my opinion and my experience. All of it. Look what it has bred. Okay, well, God, there's millions of Christians that are good people, and they live by the love doctrine of Jesus Christ. Yes, there are. And there's millions of Jews who are kind of liberal Jews who believe in their love stuff, in the Talmud and the Torah and all that. Yeah, they believe in the more liberal aspects of Judaism. And then you have the same thing in Islam. Yeah. And actually, probably most people in all three of those religions are pretty good, and they get it. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Let's switch over to the country now. This country, the United States of America, which is supposed to be a democratic republic, which is, what a joke that is. It's a total joke, folks. Yeah, well, we do have shards of it. I mean, some municipalities, you can go to your city council meeting every month, sit in, have a voice, and make your opinion heard on various issues. Yes, you can, and you ought to. A little tougher to do that on a state level, and especially on the federal level. No, this stuff is decided. They only do what we want about 44% of the time. That was the last study I saw 20 years ago. I think it's probably worse now because basically, I think most legislators do the donor's will, right? We know that 94% of the Congress takes money from AIPAC. Bad, right? Israel, in its right-wing Zionist bent, is bad, okay? In Israel, there's a lot of good people. There's good people who really care about the rest of humanity. Of course there is. But this is not the ruling elite in Israel today. And most Israelis support the Iran war. Yes, they do. And, Israel's pretty lucky. They're getting us to do a lot of the dirty work. Yeah. Oh, yeah, great. Depleting our stockpiles of defensive weapons. How stupid. It's so stupid. All you had to do is leave the Iranians alone, make a deal, make a bunch of, I hate that word, make a bunch of agreements with them, make sure they're adhering to it and we're adhering to it, and let them develop as a country so their people gain more and more freedom. You don't do it by this stupid, awkward attempt at conquest. And that's what it is. This is a conquest thing. This is about destroying all their means of military, defense and offense, and then hoping that a opposition is going to arise that cares about the Iranian people. No, it's not going to happen. It's already happened. The Ayatollah's son is now the Ayatollah. That's right. He's the supreme leader now, right? And he's not a moderate. No, he's not a rationalist. He's not a realist. He's probably more brutal than Khomeini was. Yeah, than that Ayatollah. Okay? So get it, folks. Okay, so what is your vision of America? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. It's not this imperialist empire. It's not, we have to be the greatest country of the world with the greatest army. and we're morally superior because we're Christians, and all that nonsense is total nonsense. Our country is a very diverse, ethnically and spiritually and religiously, very diverse. Now, most people still claim that they're Christians. I don't think they are, if they know what Christianity is. No, they think, here's the whole thing. I think it was 1988 or 1985, one of those years, an idiot named Hal Lindsey came out with a book called The Late Great Planet Earth. Okay? Now, if you haven't read it, you should go read it, because he made all these predictions and prophecies and all this crap about the end times and the book of Revelation and how this stuff was going to go down, because it was predicted in the book of Revelation, and this rapture crap, this load of bullshit. And I'm sorry if you believe in this stuff. I'm sorry for you. I feel bad for you, because it is a lie. It is a myth, and it is not in the Bible. No, this Christian nationalism shit is not in the Bible. No, it's not okay. No, love your enemies. Turn the other cheek, and then turn the other one. Yeah, no, not in the Bible, kids. Well, have a great night. I'll be back later in the week.